Hi everyone, this is Abdurrahman Gilal. You know that when we say websites, basically we are trying to say that there are two different types of websites, as per my understanding. One website allows you to just, see the contents where you do not interact. So, for example, one of the sites that you see is like Wikipedia, where you have just how to say contents available that you cannot interact. You just review, you just see and do things, and that's it. And there are those websites which basically are allowing you to interact with them. So let's just an example of Facebook. So Facebook is one of the websites which allows you to interact. So when I say I'm saying web, so I'm saying it can be static and it can be dynamic. So when I'm saying it is going to be dynamic, so I'm sorry, static, from the keyword I can say like something that is unchangeable during runtime. So basically it is not allowing you to send any data. So when you do not send any data, so so basically you do not worry about security kind of things. So usually such kind of websites are using HTML and Java scripting and CSS. So they do not use any server scripting because they are static, right? So they are fast because they don't have any interactions. So they are very fast. They just whatever data is there, they just display it, and that's it. But the problem, on the other hand, goes when you wanted to make a dynamic website. They include definitely HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. So at some point they became also static, but they interact with users. So when they interact with users, so they have to, you know, process their data. They have to process those inputs the user is providing. They have the databases. So we have already seen the 3D architecture. So we know that they have the capacity to store the databases. So that makes them a little bit slower than the static websites, but more like a kind of a personalized experience, changeable stuff. So this is so many benefits of it. So I know like Facebook is one of the great examples that I always give. Your Google is one of the big example that you interact with. So there are so many examples that you can say and think of. So let's make a website that is a little bit interactive, which means a dynamic website. So in order to make it, let me quickly jump and open it up. Okay. So I'm going to use simple HTML forms because forms are really, really useful in order to collect data from users. So there are so many ways by which we can collect data from users, but form is one of the very effective ways these days. So when you are applying for any admission or somewhere, so you have to fill the form. You are trying to log into Facebook, you have to fill the form. So you technically fill the form so many times, right? So they collect data from you. They also facilitate for dynamism in the website. They also sometimes you keep the data through send to the server. Server stores the data. There are so many benefits of using forms. So how we make forms in sorry, you know in HTML, it's very simple. Is that we write form and then form. So what we're going to do here, that's very important. Once you write a form, where you're going to submit that. So this is what you have to tell. Then are you going to give a form to someone or you just want to keep it with yourself? So surely we're going to give the form to someone. So action. The word action means that where you're going to send the form. So I'm going to make a PHP page that's going to be HTML process.php. If I do not have a PHP page, once again, if I have HTML page where I send it, then who will be receiving it? So this only capacity to receive the file is a server language. So server language, which means I'm saying about the PHP because I'm working on PHP in this course. So are you gonna send the data that's gonna go publicly or you gonna hide the data? So there are some methods that form brings out. So I'm gonna talk about one method that's called get method. And so now it says I have a form that maybe submit to this process.php. So I have to make this web page that is process.php, and then I have to send it through get method. So what is get method? There are other methods. I'll explain you shortly. So let's say what are the fields that you're asking the user to fill for you. So let's say I'm saying user should fill, let me So let me say like this, the name, and then I ask user input type equals to text, and name after field is also name, which means username or anything that you wanted to say. And age of the user, so I'm gonna say input type equals to a number. So that's okay. And then I'm gonna say name is age because I'm asking user to give me the age. So this is the name. When I submit the form, then the form will basically be submitted as the age. So I save the form. I have already made a folder called forms. You see here, I have a form page.html. So you see here, I can put my name here, and then I can put my age here. Let's say whatever age. I'm not 20, but I have to say it to feel young. Okay, so how am I gonna send the form to the other page? So I do not see anything. So best way is that you should have some submit button or something so that you can let the form submitted. So submit, you can just submit whatever. So this submit form will help you to submit your form. So that's okay. So once you do not have submit, so you see the problem, you cannot let the request be made. So let's see that. So you write Abdul, and then you write whatever age, and then you click submit. So because we do not make this page called process.php, so you see that's gonna be a very big problem. So what you have to do is to make the page, let's go ahead and then save it. Let's make the process.php page. So this is process.php page ready now. So if you refresh it, so you don't have anything here, you submit it, you go there, but you don't have any values here. So it means that the page is ready. That's good. So one of the another explanation that I give to my user is that what is website or web application? I say collection of pages. So which means that if you have so many pages and you're connected at one place, that's called website also. So here I have nothing. So I have this, like, let's say I'm writing this just to show that we are at, process.php. So we are at process.php so that you just see that we are really reaching to that file, but we are not, receiving any value. But you see in the URL, the data is shown. So that's one of the things. Let's receive the data first. How we receive the data once you send to from this form that is called form name. I didn't give any name, but you have two fields. So I know because I have made it right now. So I'm gonna just collect the data like this. I'm gonna use dollar and I'm gonna say gate. This is a method because I have sent through the gate method there. So that's why like I say gate and here I say age. So I'm gonna say the name equals to dollar gate name, and here I'm gonna say age equals to dollar gate age. That makes sense, right? So just to make sure that we are on the new row or something. So just give this BR so that we don't have any problem. So let's run that. So we have, yep. So surely there must be an error. Okay, because this is double quotation error. So we've been using, I told you, okay, there's another beautiful thing about this PHP that in order to avoid this type of conflicts, you better use single quotation. So use single quote here, use single quote here. So you are fine. Oopsie, give me a second. Sorry about this, guys. So now I am totally fine. So let's run that. You see, I have this name dot get name and then this age is there. So because of this concatenation issue, I think that's why I have to avoid that. Okay, this makes no problem, hopefully. My bad. So this is okay. And I am gonna say the same here. So let me just finish this. So now it should be fine. Okay. So let's run that. So you see here, name is Abdul Rahman and age is 20. So you should remember that you change the date to 220 and then you submit. So you have 20 and 220. So one of the things you might realize that URL is sending your data. So what if you have password? Let's say if I'm making another field that's called password. So in order to not saying the number, I'm saying password. And here I'm saying password. So, and here I'm saying username and password. So I'm saying password. So when I try to refresh it, when I write any password, that's not there, but when I submit, it's here. You see, this is not really a good practice that people can see. So this is the disadvantage of using this method called gate. So gate is a method that basically sends the data through URL. So I have written this type of differences. If you get a chance, you're gonna see that. So you see post and get method. So the other method that we have is the post method. So the data transmission in the get method happens through URL, but the post method saying it hiddenly that you do not see in the URL. I'm going to just show you an example. So basically you hide the data, which is good for your security purpose. So, and there is a length limitations on Git. So Git has a length limitation. Sometimes it goes or not over some 100 characters, but Post does not have any length limitations. So where you use basically those type of Git methods, so you use with forms when you do not have any specific data that you want to hide. But if you have login details or contact information, please do not use get. You should use post method. And one more thing that get method does not support the file uploads, but does post method does it. So these are some basic differences between them. Let's work through post now. So you come here and you have to change it here. So one of the thing is that if you use the gate method, you should use a dollar underscore gate method, which is an array, or you use post method if you're working. But if you write request, which is here I'm writing, so which means that even if you send the data through post method or a get method of your, HTTP, it is still gonna receive it. So when you're unsure what is it that is gonna come, so you better use, uh, you know, request methods, right? So I'm gonna say here is password because I've changed it here. Yeah, I did. So if I don't, it's not gonna show me the values. So you see here, I'm refreshing it and I'm giving it some password and submitting it. So I do not see anything in URL, but here I have printed by myself. So that's why like I can see it here. So you see the request method, sorry, request array receive despite of knowing whether the form is being submitted through a get method or the post method. So I hope it makes some sense that in order to create forms, you should use the tag called form. And wherever you want to send the value, you should have that and must make sure that it's a server scripting, which means you should have a .php and you should select two methods based on what's the purpose and whatever fields that you have here that you can collect the form. So you're gonna see the HTML form method. So what you have to do is to just make sure that you go to any website. So let's say you go to W3 schools and then you go to HTML. So you're gonna see a lot of HTML tags that you can see like that are useful for forms and then elements that you may receive so much values like attributes such as form attributes. So you're gonna see here, you're gonna do practice and then come back here on your website and try to practice that how you can send the data from different attributes or fields of HTML and how you receive it here and then you can do more manipulation. So please do let me know if you got any question. I'll be very happy to answer your queries. Thank you so much, guys.